And I'm Mark. And today we're going to make one of our unique and delicious recipes called the Manhattan Fingernut Cookie. I'm so excited to share this with you, and let's get started. All right, so now I'm ready and we have some ingredients here. Michelle, what do we do first? What do we have?
Okay, we start with a pound of butter and a cup of cream cheese. So you can't lose. You already know it's going to be delicious. Then you need a cup and a half of sugar. You need 3 cups of toasted salted pecans, a teaspoon of baking powder, and 6 cups of flour. That's all you need. Oh, and of course, the CookieNip.
So I saw the first thing we have to do is toasted pecans. How do I go about doing that?
All right, take your pecans.
All right, I have pecans already chopped.
Right. They were whole pecans and we just put them in the food processor.
Just like this?
Right. But a lot of people go ahead and buy them chopped for recipes.
I'll spread them out.
Stretch them out all over the pan and then put just a little bit of salt. When they go in the oven, the heat is going to release the oil that's in the nuts and the salt will stick to that, and you will have some lightly salted toasted pecans. So you're only going to put this in your oven for about 5 minutes. So go ahead.
Okay.
All right, so those are going to stay in there for between 5 and 10 minutes until you get that real rich nutty aroma floating through the kitchen.
All right, I got the pecans out of the oven. Now I'm ready to mix the dough. What do we do?
Okay, get your butter and your cream cheese and your sugar and put it in your mixing bowl.
Got my butter. It's about a pound of butter.
That's a pound, 4 sticks. Each stick, that's
Ooh,
also...
that's soft.
Right, it is soft because it's warmish in here.
Room temp?
Room temperature butter.
Any given day, the room temp is a different temp.
It is a different temp, but you don't want your butter to melt, so we don't want to apply actual heat. Like, don't put your butter in the microwave to try to bring it to room temperature.
Why not?
Because if you add heat to your butter, it goes from being a cream product to an oil product. So if you come home and you realize I have not got my butter out of the refrigerator, I don't leave it on my counter all the time, the best way to turn that butter into room temperature butter is to get a cheese grater and grate your butter. And that creates a lot of surface area and it will be at room temperature very quickly.
All right, I've got my pound of butter in there. And now I've got 1 pack of cream cheese, which is about 8 ounces.
Which is 1 cup.
Which is 1 cup.
Yep.
All right.
2 cups of butter, 1 cup of cream cheese.
That was easy.
Okay.
And we can go ahead and put
1.5 cups of sugar.
sugar.
Right.
I think
Now,
we're ready.
Fit your spinner, your paddle attachment.
All right, I got my butter, my cream cheese, and my sugar in there. What's next?
Okay, go ahead and turn the mixer on. And you want to cream those 3 ingredients together. So basically, once your sugar gets mixed in, then you can turn the speed up. Right, because your cream cheese is trying to stick to your spinner. So go ahead and scrape that off so that it'll get equally mixed up with that butter.
I notice the faster I spin it, the butter and cream cheese don't want to stick to that paddle much anymore due to physics.
You're slinging it.
All right, looks like my butter, my cream cheese, and my sugar are creamed really well. What's next?
Take your baking powder and I want you to whisk it in with your 6 cups of flour. This is all-purpose flour.
A little bit of...
That little bit of baking powder.
And all of that.
All of that.
And whisk it.
Whisk it.
I don't know if this bowl's big enough. I better be gentle.
Yes. Surely a 6-cup bowl will handle 6 cups of all-purpose flour and a teaspoon of baking powder.
But that don't give you much room
No.
to do my mixing, my whisking.
It doesn't, but it will work.
Well, next video we're gonna have a bigger bowl. All right, I think we're good here.
I think we're good. Now, a little at the time, you can add your flour. Just put a little at the time, because if you pour it all in at one time, it's gonna puff all up. So just put some in.
Never seen that happen here.
No, never.
Maybe one. Wait a minute, we don't have any eggs in here.
No,
How's
you
this gonna
don't.
cook without eggs?
This is shortbread, and
Oh.
shortbread does not involve eggs. You know what the eggs do for your recipes?
Tell me,
It's a binder. It's what makes your dough stick together.
how's this gonna stick together?
Well, it's going to stick together because we've got lots of butter and cream cheese in there. However, it's going to be flaky and soft as opposed to being held together with the egg.
Now, is this dough kind of sticky, or is it gonna be somewhat pull itself off the side of the bowl? Because it looks like it's kind of sticky.
It is still sticky right now, but you've got flour left. So
I don't have much left
the
now.
goal is for it to be moldable, where you can take it in your hand and sort of roll it in a log. And don't forget, you got about 1/4 of a cup here on the counter. So you might have to add a little more.
All right, I've got, looks like the dough is mixed very well. So what's next?
I want you to slowly add your nicely toasted, salted, cooled pecans in here and turn the mixer on. We don't want to turn it on really high because they're already crushed. You just want to fold all of those in.
Fold.
Fold means put in a little at the time and allow your mixer to blend them in. You know, you asked about, is this dough going to be wet and sticky? Notice that when you added 3 cups of pecans, the dough gets a little bit drier.
It did.
So that's where your dryness
moisture went.
factor,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
is
like
coming
that.
from. Yeah.
I guess you better have a mixer that's got some wattage behind it.
Right, you can really not do something as thick as cookie dough with a hand mixer because the hand mixer usually has about between 90 and 125 watts. And I would say for a dough this thick or for a sugar cookie dough or any of those, you know, pizza dough, bread, any of those kind of things, you need a bigger engine.
All right, it looks like that butter, the cream cheese, and the sugar are creamed very well. What else do I need?
You need your golden elixir, CookieNip. That's going to give it the flavor of butter, vanilla, and salted caramel.
Very good. That sounds delicious.
It is.
I might even eat one of these cookies. All right, looks like that dough looks absolutely delicious and perfect. What's next?
You did make some pretty perfect dough. Let me show you something. A lot of the bakeries, when they make a cookie like this, they will roll it into a ball and then a log and sort of make a shape like that. So if you go into a bakery and you see these long ladyfinger type cookies, those were hand rolled.
But we're not going to do that.
No, because we like for them to be more uniform and they just look prettier on a platter.
All right, so now we're going to roll them out. Let me go get all the flour so I can throw the flour all over the counter.
No, we're not good. If you put flour all over the counter, it's going to make this dough drier and drier
Ooh, I
every
don't want
time. No, every time you go to roll them out. Also, it's going to make a big, huge mess.
So how are we going to do it?
We're going to just put a piece of parchment paper down
Oh.
and then get our rolling sticks.
What do we need sticks for?
Because we want every cookie to be the exact same thickness. So if you use these as a guide, you just put them down and use that as a guide, and then you're going to put
And my rolling pin is going to ride on that.
your rolling pin is going to ride on those rails. So start
Huh.
by taking a big ball of dough and rolling it into a log.
Okay.
It's nice and feel how nice
Oh, yeah,
and
it's not sticky.
soft that dough is, and it's not sticky. So use
about
your
right?
hands, right, use your hands to press it down because that's just less work you'll have to do when you start rolling. Now get another piece
I
of
don't want
parchment.
the rolling papers. I mean, the
No,
rolling
get
pin to
ano-
stick to that.
No, get another piece of parchment.
Put it on top?
straight on the top.
Genius.
Put your rolling pin down.
It's such a soft dough, it doesn't really take much
Right.
effort to roll it.
No, it doesn't.
And I bet those are all the same thickness,
Of course they are.
whatever the thickness of that stick is.
Right, that's a 1/4 inch. Okay,
Ooh,
look at that beautiful little piece of dough.
Well, that's one old big cookie. How we gonna?
That's not one cookie, that's gonna be almost a dozen cookies. But I want you to take the spatula and sort of even it up into like a little row that's maybe about 4 inches
4-inch row.
wide. Now, you know, one of my very favorite things about this cookie is very rarely when I make up all this much dough do I need this many cookies for an event. But because we get these cookies scored, I want you to
About how thick do we want it?
we want them about an inch
An inch. Start it.
or 3/4 of an inch.
Well, this goes quick.
Right.
This is quicker than cutting out cookies with a cookie cutter.
But let's say if you wanted some that were a particular shape, like a little small circle, you could absolutely
use
do
it.
that too. But this is a beautiful thing about these cookies.
All right, looks like I got 14 cookies on there. Now, that's a lot of dough. We're gonna get a lot of those little cookies out of here. So we don't need all that many at one time.
We don't need them at one time, but the beautiful thing about this dough is before we put these on a pan, we're gonna pop them into the freezer, and they're gonna be, they're gonna be little sticks that'll be easy to snap apart when we need them. But for every row of cookies that we get in the freezer, we might not need but maybe 3 sleeves of these to cook for the event that we're going to. And I always have this dough already scored and ready to pop into the freezer, so these could be made in a matter of minutes.
Very nice. Just pull them out of the freezer,
Just pull
put
them
them
out
in the
of the
oven.
freezer and put them in
So
the
how are we
oven.
gonna put them in there? You like fold
I
them
like
out?
to fold over my parchment and then take the pan, put it on here, stick it in the freezer.
All right, we rolled the cookies. We cut them out. We got them in the freezer. So while they're kind of firming up, what do we do next?
We're gonna make the frosting.
Frosting.
So get your bowl.
Here's my bowl.
Okay, I want you to add 5 cups of sifted powdered sugar, which
Is
we've
that
got.
sifted?
That is sifted.
Who sifted it?
I sifted it.
Oh, thank you. I'm not a fan of that sifting. All right, so we need some corn syrup.
You need
How
corn
much?
syrup, a tablespoon.
So I'm gonna take this
No,
tablespoon.
no. Let me tell you something. That, if you pour this corn syrup in here, that's gonna get very sticky, and then you're gonna have to fight with it to get it out of the spoon.
So what do we do?
Well, you're gonna take this tablespoon, and you've got your bowl, and let's just imprint the tablespoon. Look at that.
Look at that.
And now you can just pour it straight into the bowl.
Oh. All right, so now what's next?
Take your 1/3 of a cup of salt water and pour most of it in, not all of it. Because sometimes, depending on if it's raining outside, we might want to thicken it up. No, pour a little more.
I'll go.
Pour a little more. All right?
I'll leave some out.
Leave some out just in case.
All right, that's everything?
No! What did you not? You've got no...
CookieNip.
Yep. Get the CookieNip.
How much?
Measure it with your heart.
My heart.
Yeah. Or a teaspoon. A couple of teaspoons, actually.
All right, so we're ready to turn this thing on?
Yes.
And I may need to add water, or I may not.
Right. You probably will.
What kind of consistency am I looking for?
You want it to be thicker than glue, but thinner than toothpaste.
Thicker than glue and
You can easily add your gel colors to it. And I think for this purpose of our cookies today, let's make some pink.
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 Just
Got it.
one drop of that gel?
Yeah.
And what is this?
This is Chef Master Gel Colors. It's a It's what professional.
Not the stuff I get at the local grocery store on the
No,
shelf.
actually those are water-based and they're gonna thin down
The ones
your
at the
frosting.
store.
The ones at the
Water-based.
store. You get these from, you can get them on Amazon, you can order it online, you can get it from a professional cake baking store, you know, the stores that sell all your cake supplies, but I prefer a gel color.
All right, how long do we gotta have those cookies in the freezer?
About 15 minutes, but they could be in there for 15 days or 15 weeks or 15 months even. So the longer the better, but if you've got 15 minutes in the freezer, they're gonna snap apart like Legos or something. Okay, look at this. Now, this is where I usually get out of the freezer the number of sleeves that I need. And if I get about 12 and I need 3 dozen, I just get 3 sleeves out.
Right, so this sleeve
Had more.
had more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's almost 16. So
That's a good roll. You
That's a
know,
good
if I
roll.
get, that's a really good roll.
that was
If
my
I can
second
get
roll.
12.
That was my second roll. I had
Okay.
a little experience.
Now-
so where we gonna put these?
Get the pan with the silicone.
And I like that pan.
Right, it has ridges, and the silicone has holes in it. It's perforated, so your heat and your air can actually get underneath without getting your cookies dark
so
on
we
the
just-
back. And all we're gonna do,
Are these gonna spread at all?
they're not gonna spread.
What?
So just,
I get a lot on that.
you can get, right, so just line them up. Okay, so let's put these in the oven. I always have a thermometer in every oven so that I'll know actually how hot it is. Because do not believe the little dial here.
All right, looks like the icing is perfect. So how are we gonna get this icing? Am I just gonna drip it on the cookie?
No, you're going to put it in a piping bag.
Piping bag.
And
I got one of those.
we've got the piping bag fitted with a number 7 tip because I want, you know, I'm a frosting believer. So I want.
How am I gonna get that in? I see people do that. They do it kind
No,
of like
don't
that.
do it like that. Don't, because you're just gonna make a mess.
Oh,
If you take
well, I'm
your,
probably gonna make a mess.
yeah, if you take your piping bag and you put it in a glass,
Oh,
you
look
can
at
just
that.
pour it down in there
What?
because you don't want to get it all over
I mean like
the
this?
part. Yeah, just pour some in.
Since it flows a little bit.
Yeah, it does flow.
Ooh, that's a lot easier what I would have done. Because I needed at least one hand.
Right. And you would have got it all up to your elbow.
Is that enough, you think?
I think so. Now you've got
Much.
a good
Look at that.
amount to squeeze and twist and just leave it sitting back in the cup until you're ready to put it on your cookies.
I like that. Well, we've done a lot of work already today. I think I heard the timer of the oven. I think our cookies are ready.
Go check them.
Let me check them.
Oh yeah. That's just about perfect. You see how they're just a little bit golden around the edge? I kind of
These
like.
are a little darker. Does that matter?
No, it doesn't because I actually like them a little bit golden. And of course, if you like, and some people do, like them just with no color on them, you just take them out a little bit earlier. Okay, Mark, one of the things about these cookies, right when they come out of the oven, they're still a little bit soft and we want them to be a little crispy and flaky. So if you let them stay on the pan until we can actually touch the pan, they should be sturdy enough to lift up off of the mat. And I put them on a pan and line them up end to end because that will make frosting them even easier.
I think that's left is to decorate. How we're going to do that?
Okay, these are pretty dang good with nothing on them.
Now, we did make some
But I
frosting.
like frosting, so let's get the frosting.
And we put it in that bag. So how you going to do that?
Okay, I just usually start, and everybody has something different that they like to do, but do you see with that number 7 tip how you get a light, how you get a nice little stream of frosting, and I go zigzag. I know some people like to do it where
I've seen some people do 2 stripes,
right,
1 stripe.
do 1 stripe, 2 stripes. Some people will put sprinkles on there. Some people will do the little loop that looks like the Hostess cupcake.
Yeah, I like that 1 row.
I do too.
Well, we spent some time in the kitchen today. It didn't seem like it was that long to make these cookies.
Well, one of the things about this dough is it probably makes well over 100 cookies. So as long as when you make up your dough and you go ahead and roll out your sleeves and keep them in the freezer, you could come home from work, put some in the oven, and have cookies in 30 minutes.
I'm very proud of these. These look delicious. No egg, right?
No egg. That's why they're so
I don't
crumbly
know.
and soft.
I'm gonna give it a try, even if they are pink.
What's wrong with pink? That'll make you have a baby girl. If you want this recipe, you'll find it in the reference section below. Also, feel free to leave a comment if you can be nice.
Let me tell you, this is a great cookie. And if you liked what you saw today, please hit the like button below and hit the subscribe button to get all the latest recipes and demos that we'll be doing here at the Studio Kitchen here in Marietta, Georgia. Come see us.